So once you get to the point where you've got a reasonable feel for what the extents of your geometry are, so you know how big the building is going to be, how wide, you've got all your sort of major geometrical sort of features on there, then you should really drag it onto the sheet so that you know what scale that you want to prepare this at. You don't want to make the mistake of doing your dimensions and a whole bunch of other things before you know what scale you're going to print at. So that's the first step. To do that, I'm going to go to the View tab, and I'm going to click on the Sheet tool, and I want to find my custom title block. So I'm going to, on the New Sheet dialog box here, click on the Load button, and then navigate to where I have my custom title block for this assignment. So once you've tracked that down, just get that loaded up. That'll appear in your list. You can then select that one and click OK, and it'll take you right to that view. So you can see now in the browser I'm on my sheet view, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my browser again to where I can find my main floor, and then just click and drag that into place. And you'll notice when I do that, it's going to be way larger than the sheet. That's for a couple reasons. I haven't really adjusted my scale for my main floor at all, and I haven't done any cropping. I haven't limited its range at all. What I'm going to do is go back to main floor in the browser, and the first thing I'm going to do is select this feature down at the bottom that says Crop View. So I'll turn that on, and you'll see that the view probably won't get any smaller because it's just gone to the extents of the drawing or the geometry at this point. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Show Crop Region right beside it with a little light bulb. I'll click on that, and then I can use the grips on that cropping frame and pull that cropping region in to where it's just outside the building. It's going to be kind of midway on the sidewalk there that's eventually going to surround the building here. So I'll just pull it in to ensure it's just kind of the minimum size here. And once you've done that, remember to turn the crop region off. So you want to hide it. And then if I go back to my sheet view, you'll see I probably have to do a little bit of adjustment here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move it into place. And again, you can see that the scale that I've got it set to print at is too large. It doesn't fit on the sheet at all. So the next step is to go back to main floor. And down here in the bottom in the view control bar, that's where I want to change the scale. I'll set that to 1 to 200. And remember, everything is annotative in REVIT, so all the text and grid symbols get larger. And I'll go back to my sheet, and usually requires a little bit of extra movement. And that's at 1 to 200. I can probably get away with something a little bit finer. So I'm going to go once more back to main floor. And 1 to 100 wasn't quite right. 1 to 200 is a little bit too small. So I can do a custom scale and set that to 1 to 150 and click OK. And again, I'll go back to my sheet. One last little movement, and that looks like the right size. I should be able to get all my dimensions and notes and everything else in with that one. So once you've got that established, then you're free to go back to your main floor, and at this scale, now that you know that that's not going to change, you'll be able to set up your dimensions and your text, and you know everything's going to be organized and not shift on you. So that's the first important part. What I'll do next is I'll go back to the sheet, and I'll fix this issue. So when I initially dragged this view onto the sheet, it brought a drawing title with it. And this is the part that's not very intuitive, but if you want to change the position of that drawing title, you just click it and move it. That part is intuitive. What isn't is that if I want to change this extended line, I have to actually click on the drawing, and then I'll see the grip at the end of the line, and I can drag it over and shrink it up to a better size. Last thing I'm going to do here before I go back to the sheet and start adding some other two-dimensional data is I'm going to change the drawing title. We need a drawing title that shows a sheet reference here. So we don't want to just see the single number here in the circle. We want to see two of them. We don't have to make a custom one. We can just go to the library and load up a pre-made drawing title that has the two parts. So to do that, I'm just going to go to the Open button and look in my library. in the annotations folder, and I'll drop right down to the bottom and select M View Title with Sheet. And once I see that, if I want to make changes here to the text, to the font, or if I want to maybe just change the justification here so that it aligns to the right side, I can do that. So whatever edits you feel like you want to make here, you can then load it into Project, select your RVT file, and if you need to go back to the sheet view, use your browser to do that. And then you can select the drawing title, click on Edit Type, and just change the family file here and select the one with the sheet reference. And you'll see that update. Again, if you want to adjust the length of the line, just click on the drawing and then use the grip and drag to the right. And that's the initial placement of the view on the sheet.